Journal entry, 13th of the month of January, in the year of our Lord 1178. As word reached us that France had routed the Kaiser's armies at Besançon, it became clear that the time had come to either stand united or fall one by one. Messengers were sent to King Jasbec of Verona, and our armies began to prepare. Clotaire de Lagerie, a former knight commander in French service, who has defected to us in disgust, has been an enormous boon to our cause. His skill with the blade rivals mine, and as a commander in the field, he would best any of us. The French and Italian armies have taken position in the mountains northwest of Turin, alas, which is outside our range to come to their aid. Our plan was to move north towards the enemy capital, yet we must march on Feur, and once it is taken, push further east into Burgundian lands, such that we may either join Italy or avenge them. The original plan was to march on Viviers, but we can actually cross here in the north. So if it's a little hard to see, so once we take Feur, we should have supply through here and the Holy Roman Empire's lands, and then we should be able to march into Vienne and further east from there. Otherwise, we'll have to clear the path and move along the coastline towards Provence. But we shall see how that goes. There is a band of relatively small band going around here. We shall see how that goes. But I don't know for how long the French can remain, since they have been without much supply for quite a while, I believe. So let's see what their supply status is. Yeah, there are some armies here which are not looking great. Unfortunately, it's none of the heavy cavalry, but they're certainly running very low on supply. Despite the fact that they are technically in French lands. I think they just don't get enough supply in the mountains. Now, the Italians probably can't stay here forever either. They're not. They will actually have to take a castle eventually. There isn't a. The French hold the castle at Ivrea, and we can't. The Italians can't challenge them there, obviously. So we will see if they defend here against the French. They might be defeated given the sheer numerical advantage and the ferocious madness that has driven the French. But we shall see if we can come to their aid, or, as I said, avenge them instead of pushing further north. But so far, we have won our first siege, which is going to be of benefit, and we'll move forward. There is a castle in Montbrison, but I'm hoping that we can bypass that. I think we'll move on Forez. On the castle at Feur, in the barony of Montbrison, and we see if we can bypass this castle. Otherwise, we will have to. I don't think that costs me anything in attrition. Otherwise, we'll have to take that as well in order to push east or move around the southern parts. Anyway, given that it is wartime, a few changes must be made, and. The veritable Gonzalin, who has been infirm for a long time, is my master of the horse. As much as it pains me, is going to have to make way, simply because he's not able to fulfill his duties. So we shall replace him, and I think we can. We can get, I think they're all excellent. That's been 50, 57, 40, 48. But I think the outcome would all be the same from all of them. So if I could get my personal, we've got a Gian Leone, a knight in my service can take this role. So that should me, he will not be happy about that. But with that, we can get 15% army pursuit, and I have instructed Adrien de Coligny, my caravan master, to make sure that our armies can move and have sufficient supply as well. So with that, we actually should get, yeah, we're getting additional knights. So I'm gonna have to raise these separately, and then we'll join in because that otherwise doesn't happen. So we'll get the knights to join. We'll get the knights to raise. There should be more. There should be knights, or maybe because they haven't been. Okay, now they've been active, so we can try that again. Raise the armies here and see if we can get the knights. We can get the knights to join the rest. Anyway, I have taught Prince Guillaume of Toulouse how to be an open terrain expert, so I much appreciate it. Okay, there we go. 2 knights, and they shall join the rest of the. They shall join the rest of the army. We do have to see if we do need to deal with. Oh, there's another army in the north, the first army of Belac. That may need to be dealt with separately. But we'll hunt these down when it comes to it. For now, I want to concentrate on besieging eastwards. Because the Italians are coming to join us, and but I think the French might try to intercept them in the mountains, and I think that is not going to go well for Italy, because Italy sorely lacks pikemen, and the French, at least generally, are relatively well equipped in that regard. Now, the cavalry is not going to do too well in the mountains, but still, I think the numerical superiority there is going to be on France's side advantageously. So we shall see how that will go. Anyway, for now, the battle has been joined, unfortunately, and I think this is rapidly going to go in France's favor. So Italy's archers have been countered. They have bringing a fair amount of heavy infantry, but their light cavalry isn't doing particularly well, and the French heavy cavalry, despite fighting in bad terrain, given that the Italians haven't brought any pikemen, is not going to be doing particularly much. So the French pikemen are somewhat countered, but I think this is rapidly going to go into France's favor, unfortunately. And I don't think that that was one of my knights. This was more on the Allied side. Count Hubert has been hovering around my council. While we're looking at the battle, has been hovering around my council meetings lately. Knowing his interest in matters of leadership, I cannot help but feel that the man is waiting for me to impress him. I could probably engage him in conversation. On the other hand, it might be better for him to simply see me interacting with my men. There is something to be said for at least pretending to know every soldier's face. Count Hubert of Rouergue, is of House de Villeron. He is the son of Count Borel the Little. And as such is my nephew, I would argue, almost. Anyway, so we can have a we can either have a conversation with him, or we should go greet some recruits. So that would give me 25% levy in reinforcement rate. No, I think it's good to he is one of my knights as well, so it's good to have it's good to extend or to close the ties in the family. So let's discuss methods of communication. Okay, armies have been joined, so if I can select both of them, there we go. Then we can merge these. And yes, Italy is going to be, I think, savagely beaten here, unfortunately. Also, Count Manfredo of Lucca is nowhere as good as the mercenary that is leading the French. And I think there we are seeing the unfortunate defeat of the Italian army. And we haven't found anything for a while we haven't found anything for a while. So we shall abandon this. We had tried to get, I think Aquitaine to see if we could find anything that would allow us to pressure Aquitaine into not joining France, but I don't think there's much we can do. So for now, yeah, Italy is being beaten back. There is an army in the north approaching that we may have to deal with at some point, but for now we will see what news will be brought from the battle. And yeah, the battle at Susa has been lost. The Italians have taken quite a beating, quite some severe losses. But one thing we need to actually investigate is to see if there is anything we can do to prevent any of these, because these are vassals of France. This is the Duke of Normandy, but unless they are direct allies. So let's have a quick look if there's any alliance between the people that we know have been part of this whole plot, because then we could use that knowledge against them. We've got obviously Masuria, the Lithuania, which is too far that we can't do anything about. We have, I don't even know who that is. We've got, yeah, okay, so that's the direct war. We've got Lithuania, we've got Aquitaine, and we couldn't really get anything on Aquitaine himself. We've got Navarra, and I don't think we have, we've got Normandy that we could do something, Clermont and Poitiers, but these are minor people, nothing on Navarra, and he's got a truce with Aragon. So we can't do anything about Navarra or Lithuania or Aquitaine, so we may as well not really use any of this. In that case, we shall make it clear to everybody what we are fighting for by exposing all these secrets eventually, when things get down to it. But for now, we are besieging Forest. 4 months left, and we shall see what these armies in the north are doing, and if we need to abandon the siege and start challenging them. While yeah, Italy has been beaten and is returning, which means France is now marching on us, and it looks like Clermont-sur-Allier might be under siege as well soon. So we'll have to see if they can hold out until we have taken Forest. Given that Italy has been beaten, I think we must await the French eventually and see that we clear out their troops before we can proceed with anything else. Our supplies are running low, and given that the French are coming in from the east, and they will try to resupply throughout the mountains. Instead, we shall move towards the hills of Clermont-sur-Allier to intercept the armies that are coming in from here. Maybe we can catch them in Thiers, actually. Plains would probably be more advantageous for us to fight in. However, if we have to defend in the hills, then so be it. But for now, we are... maybe I'm not sure if we can intercept this group, but we'll move through our own lands to try and restock our supplies while we are moving to intercept the enemy armies here. And maybe we can catch that small band before they move off. No, not really. They have moved off. So we are over supply limit, unfortunately. We may have to split these armies, but the problem being that these enemy armies are, they are relatively well supplied. So the enemy armies are large in number. So I don't want to necessarily have them take them on separately. But we are over the local supply limit, which is costing us advantage, unfortunately. And we might have to split. We might have to split off some troops to deal with that situation, while we are striving to intercept the enemy in the plains of Rouergue would actually be advantageous to us. So let's see if we can manage to catch them there before they escape further. Okay, that army is moving off. If we can catch one of them alone, that would be ideal. Okay, battle has been joined in the plains of Milo. And how does it look? We are currently, the second half of the army is coming in as well. So that would be the first army of Belak, but we have managed to join battle with Marchand Renaud of Berry, who is capable, but not as good as my own commander. We are running low on supply because we are slightly over the supply limit. So we may have to split off at least the siege engines for now while we are hunting to get ourselves under the supply limit and get our armies actually properly resupplied. That said, their footmen, their bowmen, and their pikemen are relatively well counted. While our pikemen are somewhat countered, but they haven't brought any cavalry, so it's not too bad. Let's see if we can defeat them before the rest of them gets there. But obviously the bigger problem is going to be the French and the French main army. And we have managed to defeat the second army of Berry in a massive slaughter at Milhaud, in which we have slain almost all of them. They have fought to the last, and most of their men have been left on the field of battle. Our knights have fought valiantly. Obviously, Clotaire de Lagerie as commander has not been joining. Stephen de Corneille has been wounded, but we have fought valiantly and have defeated that first group, which means we can now chase after the second one. Can we split off for now? We do need to get some levies split off as well. I need to get under 6,000. Okay, so that's that. And with that, we can leave them here and get the other army, which does need to get resupplied, to move north against the first army of Belak. And that should hopefully sort out the supply situation if we can catch them before they move out. But I think we can. And we have caught them in the open field. The siege engines were not necessary for that anyway. So these should now get properly resupplied, hopefully. We're still running under supply, but now we're fighting their cavalry. Although their light of horse are countered by our pike, their bowmen will be run over. Their pikemen or their spearmen don't do much, and it's only the heavy infantry that can be of value. So, despite the skill of the enemy commander, I believe we should be having the advantage there. And unfortunately, in the meantime, wherever I go, Gisela is sure to follow. That look in her eyes, I know exactly what she's after. No. She is a married woman, and I shall absolutely reject. I will reject these kind of schemes very rapidly. Now they are holding. There was a river here. I didn't see that. That's less than ideal. But we shall take that disadvantage. I think we can regardless deal with them swiftly. And they also have been slain at Marvejois. And with that, we have enacted a crushing defeat on. We have enacted a crushing defeat on the at least on the first part. The French are going. The French armies in the north are returning, so we are going to move north, and I think I can get a few more. Yeah, we'll try to rebuild our supply as we go. So we shall move towards Clermont-sur-Allier for now. That's probably the northernmost castle that we could deal with, and we shall see what we do from there. Now they are besieging Bourbon, which is not going to last very long against this massive army. So that is, they might retake Bourbon relatively quickly, and there's not an awful lot we can do about that. And but the craven king of France, has died of old age, which means he is now been replaced by his idiot son, who is rapidly losing his coin. So we do have to be careful. We might not want to move too close in the north, because we cannot stand against this army on the field of battle directly. I do, however, have a new martial perk. So I think a man's home is probably the best one for now. Engineered for destruction would be nice, but +5 defender advantage is something I'm going to take. Now the question is, where do we move? Where do we move from here? What is our supply limit? Supply limit 5,000 something. 6,000 in Gévaudan. Clermont, we don't even actually have enough. So let's move towards Gévaudan for now, and we will have to find ways to deal with the French armies moving about in the north while we are restocking our supplies. In positive news, Italy has landed and has brought their troops along. Now they are still unorganized from recent landings, so we'll have to wait for them to reach us. But we shall see where they move, and we shall join their armies eventually, hopefully, depending on what moves they make. Now Bourbon is under siege, but there's not much we can do about it, unfortunately, as we are just rebuilding our supply situation at this point. And the Italians are not yet joining north. And the King of Aragon is asking for his daughter, Infanta Munyadonna, to be married to Prince Aldebert of Toulouse. She is generous, a bit arrogant, and a bit fickle. This would allow us to get Aragon on our side as well against France. Now, the worthy King of Aragon is a good man, and his son as well, and his heir. So this would, we'll have to introduce the two of them, and if they agree, then they, I'm not too certain. I think we shall decline this offer, simply because Prince Aldebert currently has no interest in these sort of things, and he is. We're not in the business of forcing our children to marry. So for now, we shall decline this generous offer, as much as we could use Aragon's troops. The Pope has passed away, and that means there is a new Pope in Pope Hadrianus IV. So we could ask him for gold, but given that we're currently fighting the French, they are. We shall see if we can improve his opinion of us. But given that we're fighting the French, the Pope is staying out of it. At least, hopefully, we're now having. Oh no, the Pope's possessed. Never mind. Yeah, the demonic influence is everywhere. So, not an awful lot we can do there. All right, the army is restocking. And once they are properly resupplied, we will see if we can move north. The siege of Bourbon, is not going to go our way, so there's not an awful lot we can do. But we do need to get our troops restocked, and then we shall. Given that Italy has now joined us here, we can abandon the attempts of moving east and return north towards besieging the castles there. While the French troops are moving east, because France is still as well at war with the Holy Roman Empire, and has not been able to enforce his demands. Now we are once again over supply limits. I'm going to have to split off some more levies here just to get us back below, and that army can join the second group in the south. So with that, we should be getting the supply back up to normal levels. One of my courtiers, Beatrix, has come of age. She's the daughter of Otakar, my seneschal. And I can see why she's interested in intrigue, given the problems that her father is having. How are the murder schemes coming along? Yeah, they're still not getting anywhere. So that's that. Do we have any children in court? I haven't looked in a while. Not really. No more children have been born after Sicilia. So there's that. How are the finances? Yeah, the finances are draining rapidly now in France. So I think we have to carefully consider our options here and ensure that our armies are well supplied. The Italians should be relatively well supplied as well at this point. And can we do anything about the army supply? The supply limit should actually be higher from prepare armies. So I'm not sure why that's not applicable. Supply limit should be improved, but we'll just have to make do with the standard supply. So for now, our troops are resupplying, and then we shall move north on France once more. We have inflicted some significant damage on them so far, although these battles for some reason didn't count. But what I'm looking at is France's coffers draining due to the absolute incompetence of the King Eudes III of House Bourgogne, the idiot drunkard who is now on the throne of France. So I think he will be out of coin very rapidly, and at that point we can re-engage. For now, we shall. That's the last thing to do today. Have a quick look at what my daughter wants at court. Finest raiments in the land, good king, mostly because they ain't from this land, chortles Matilda as I walk past her open chamber. Her voice oozes charm and slickness. Almost new, just as good as new, and fresh from the trendsetters in King Just Beck's court. These are what everyone in the Kingdom of Italy will be wearing next season. We're not spending coin on that at this point. So I don't want to spend the. I don't want to make her angry, but look, I understand your approach and your focus on the fashion at court, but we are at wartime, my daughter. We cannot deal with such things at this point. We would be able to hold court. This generally has the unfortunate side effect that I will have to pay coin, which I am not having much of, and I don't want to get my marshal to switch to organized army, which would reduce the army maintenance, but also cost us 25% damage and toughness. So this is a sort of last resort measure, which means I'm going to have to preserve what we have if we are to outlast France. And what happened? Has Burgundy... Oh, he has lost Burgundy. He has lost Burgundy. Okay. So due to apparently on succession, he has lost control over Burgundy, which is holding both Brittany and the Kingdom of Burgundy itself. Good grief. And they're not... They are of House Bourgogne, but it is the brother, King Benoit II, who is in control of the Kingdom of Burgundy. So if we're looking at the kingdom side of things, then actually, what happened? Has Brittany now? No. Okay, so Burgundy, Brittany reports to Burgundy, but Burgundy doesn't report to France. So France now stands very alone, which means that, he's going to be out of gold in 3 months, at which point his armies probably will start revolting. So that will be our opportunity to begin operations in earnest against the French.